Welcome to that out of the authentic. Good morning. Well, it's morning for me. Whatever time it is for you, good time for you. So, this is morning for me. I am here again, telling myself every time that I'm doing this, wow, you're showing up. Good job. Like, that's hard. Let's face it. It's not easy. Well, I came to speak about something super lovely. Okay, so right now, at this current times, there are many things happen, but there is this thing in the music industry where Katy Perry has been, sexually harassing Ruby Rose. I mean, I just, I'm going with the motto, I believe you. And this thing just brings a lot of voices within the music industry. Now, those two people are considered famous, okay? They have power, they have authority, they have money. Now, once you got those, you have the class, you're in the class that you are able to speak. Things surface, like, because right now the hyper normalization, as I said, the meta image that people are selling as normal, including celebrities, well, it's all been dismantled now and the shit is surfacing. Yeah, motherfuckers. Now, what I wanted to say is that the thing is that it's not something radical. The thing with Ruby Rose and Katy Perry. Yeah, of course, sexual harassment is not something like I'm taking this extremely serious, but I just understand that due to the death of the authentic, it's just something that happens every day, everywhere, all the time, by whoever, okay? Which means the music industry, okay, is saturated with sexual harassments and gender harassments, okay? Now, I come from the art world, so I'm gonna say the art world is saturated with sexual and gender harassments, like constantly. Like every industry that exists just contains already within mechanisms to silence people for, let's say, 20 years, and then after 20 years and like spending money on therapy and being post-traumatized and etc., you're finally able to speak, right? But the people who are not famous, who are not rich enough, who are not, well known enough, or whatever enough there is in our society, in our capitalistic and crazy society, and crazy in a good term because this is the normal, okay? In the art communities, whatever specific genre they are or mediums they are within, they have very complicated mechanisms to silence those people. And even right now, as we speak, as I speak, people are being harassed, okay? And they're not necessarily famous, they're not necessarily, whatever. But it's still happening. And I don't want anyone, especially not me, to wait 20 years until I will have the class and like the whole cloud, you know? I don't want that. If you have ever experienced sexual harassment or gender harassment or anything near it, talk about it, because it has to come out. Even here in Israel, this thing is getting crazy because in the music industry, because there is this very famous guy who were violently raping females, and now years later they're trying to uncover his name, and he's like in the trial do with through the law. He's like, no, I'm having like suicidal thoughts and I cannot do this. Now this is what the negotiation of like the PR going on. Like, I'm not saying any, yeah, he's probably suicidal, but yeah, all the females who have been raped are suicidal. So it's equivalent to what? Some people have curls and some people have straight hairs. It's still, everyone have hair, okay? But this is a tool. And Katy Perry is like working extra time right now, PR. But the thing is that I don't have any PR. Some other artists I like, there is this Foxtails band that have explicitly like talked about it, and I'm like, step forward, talk about it, because it happens all the time, whether you're famous or whether you're not. And the most risky thing about speaking up is secondary injuries. Like, okay, you experience the thing, but once you come up, you have to face so many. It's like you're making a complaint, just as I said in the previous video, of being like a killing joy feminist. Once you talk about harassments, no one wants to talk about it. Like, people will try to manipulate you, to silence you, to do a lot of, there's many mechanisms to take this information and push it aside. And I'm like, this is secondary injury, and it multiplies because there is these communal injuries. Because you want to speak with your friends, you tell your friends, like especially in the music industry, right? And only until the face and the name of the victim is up front, this is where other females join, not before. And this is like forcing the female who are post-traumatized to be more post-traumatized due to repetition and like reliving the trauma by sharing it again and again. And I'm like, let's talk about Katy Perry. Let's talk about this guy who were violently raped. And let's talk about these female like rapists and harassment and harassers. And like, let's talk about the fact that in order for sexual harassment not to happen, the people, the community around it who are witnessing need to make it stop, need to say, whoa, 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 what are you doing? This is harassing. But this never happens, right? So this is the death of the authentic. This is how it performs. And I love speaking about harassments and gender harassment. It's like, or sexual assaults and all of that. Because for me, it's like talking about flowers, because it's talking about like fabrics. Flowers, it was just like not a good metaphor, huh? I need to accept that. But it's so daily. There are so many mechanisms. It's like, the trash. What people do with the trash. How do they recycle? Do they separate the bins? There are so many mechanisms to make sure that it will be silenced or reduced. The face of the victim will be out there instead of the harasser or the assaulter, the one who made the assault or the sexual assault. And like by laws, they're very, very sexist and old-fashioned, so they're not helpful at all, the laws. And the communal injuries, like the victim are isolated because the people who have witnessed are not saying to her, yeah, we saw that, this was cringe, it was terrible, like you experienced an assault. You need to be in solidarity with them. But is it happening? Let's see. I'm like so interested of what will happen, like in this topic. And I'm like, with this new movement of Me Too at the White House, I'm like, speak up, but give place and credibility to those who are right now not in your position, not in the, like, the one who are, you know, the small workers. Give them a position and a place and time and space to speak about the harassments and the abuse of authoritarian relationships and the abuses and the assaults that they have experienced. Because this is more important. This is how you prevent it for, like, let's say the 20 years and so on. And this is what I'm trying to say, that talking about it is also includes some hierarchies, and there is a way to speak about it. Because it's daily, it's not something extraordinary. It's just something that happens every day, and we need to treat it as such, despite the fact that I feel very, very, very sad, angry, rageful, and a lot, like, in deep agony about the fact that it is the reality. But it is what it is. The reality. We need to do that, right? And we need to dance. Because dancing, making all of this energy to go out of our body and being able, to feel our feelings and not just to make actions with them. So we can just talk about harassments and not negate anything. And like the motto, I believe you. No one needs to share their story. Just, I believe you. I believe you, girl. Now, that's it. I haven't finished my cup of coffee, but I'm satisfied. I am satisfied because I talked. And this is very, very fulfilling. Yalla. I guess I'll see you next time. Follow up.